This time I'd like to call this meeting to order. If you will, Clerk Barger, please call the roll.
Master Combs?
Here.
Master Berger?
Here.
Master Tudor?
Here.
Master Buckin?
Present.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, here. Next is approval of the minutes. Y'all had a chance to look over the minutes from a previous meeting. This time I need a motion and a second to approve those.
So moved.
Second.
No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Berger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Treasurer's report will be at our next meeting. And I'm jumping ahead. Brother Greg Lakes from Pilot Knob Baptist Church, if you will, please come up and lead us in a word of prayer.
Amen. Good morning. Greetings from Pilot Knob Baptist Church. I want to thank you all for your service and commitment to Madison County and continue to strive to make Madison County a better place for its citizens. If I could, I'd like to read from 1 Timothy chapter 2, just 2 verses very quickly before I pray. I exhort therefore that first of all supplications and prayers, intercessions and giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings and for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. Let us pray. Father God in heaven, we come to you this morning at this fiscal court meeting. We thank you for all that you've done. We thank you that you're a good, merciful, and gracious God. And Lord, I thank you for the leadership and for all those who serve in Madison County, Lord, and all the details therein as they desire to serve the community. And Lord, we just pray that you be with them as you guide and direct them, Father God, that they trust you with all their heart and lean not to their own understanding, but in all their ways acknowledge you, that you direct their paths. Lord, we thank you we are truly blessed to live in this nation, to live in this state, in this county. We thank you for our 2 cities, Berea and Richmond, that make up this county. And Lord, all the citizens therein. Lord, just continue to show us grace and mercy as you watch over us and our families and our vocations and our churches and all that we do. We want to give you praise, glory, and honor. Most of all for the gift that you give us, your Son Jesus, to go to Calvary, to die for our sins, was buried, resurrected on the 3rd day, who sits on your right hand making intercession for us, that we can have eternal life. And we give you praise this morning. We ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Appreciate it. Sheriff, if you will.
Please rise, remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
Thanks, Sheriff. We're going to move around on the agenda a little bit today, guys. We've had some requests of people who have some other places to go. And so at this time, we're going to invite Craig Williams to come up and go over this discussion of the pipeline repurposing and a potential letter.
Okay, thank you, Judge, members of the court. Real quick, pardon me. You know, we have a long history with this pipeline. We've been through planning and zoning, Board of Adjustments, you all, and everybody who passed an ordinance and so on. That's been happening in other counties as well. I provided you a letter this morning, and I want to call your attention to 3 parts of it. On page 1, the last paragraph where it says on October 30th, 2017, etc., due to the length of time that's passed since Tennessee filed its application and the uncertainty in current market conditions, Tennessee will not be able to provide an implementation plan at this time. That was in October. If you'll turn the page over, you'll see on the 2nd page, at the top of the page, the very same language dated December 2017, which also says that the length of time and the lack of market interest, they're postponing their submission of their implementation plan to the appropriate federal agencies. Then if you look down at the bottom of page 2, the paragraph 2nd from the bottom, you will see a guidance from the U.S. Department of Transportation's Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, which is a mouthful, that they have concerns about this very type of proposed repurposing of this pipeline. It's very clear in their language that they think it's very risky, and that's one of the reasons that this court and this community has taken action to put an ordinance in place that provides conditional requirements before they can get a permit to go ahead and repurpose this pipeline. And then on this last page, 2nd paragraph up from the bottom, you'll see where we've put language in there noting to the President and CEO of Kinder Morgan that there has been a significant amount of opposition to this plan, both from Madison County and other counties and business organizations. I just got a unanimous consent from the Bluegrass Area Development District Executive Committee last week that they want to sign a letter on their own behalf replicating what we're asking this county government to sign, which is, you don't have the market interest, everyone's against it, please consider abandoning this project. And then at the end, you'll see where we just sum up and say what I just said, is there's insufficient interest and growing opposition to the plans. Now, the judge and I discussed this, I think, when we were on a tour of the chemical weapons disposal plant recently. And procedurally, I think he can just sign it. But I said to him, we ought to all kind of join in on this, and he agreed firsthand. I don't think it requires a motion or a second or anything like that. But I thought it appropriate to come and go over what our plans are. This is still a draft letter. Tom Fitzgerald and I crafted it. The attorney who's been working with the Planning and Zoning and Board of Adjustments on this issue with you all. And if there is input to this letter or modifications that you feel are appropriate, if by the end of next week you get me those, I'd appreciate that. I'll bring it to the judge. Hopefully he'll sign it with your all's blessing. And then we'll proceed to take it to Rowan County, Clark County, Garrett County, Boyle County, Marion County, Chambers of Commerce, and all. EKU, I'm meeting with the president there next week. EKU wants to sign on because everybody's opposed to this thing. So I wanted to just give you an update on where we're at with this, let you know that they're not moving forward because they can't find any market interest. And so we're going to make an end run here and see if maybe they'll cooperatively just drop the project. So that's what I am here for.
I know that you made, Craig, references in previous courts where you sent mailers to everybody that was up and down along the pipeline.
Correct.
Did you get feedback from any of those folks?
I've gotten about a half a dozen people that called me back. The most interesting part about that is in the context of the easements that are associated with each individual property owner, if that easement specifically says natural gas goes through that pipeline and they want to repurpose it for natural gas liquids, they have to renegotiate the easement. That gives individual property owners a position of influence and leverage in the legal context to say, well, we're not interested in letting you do that, so we're going to void the easement. If you want to get another one, you have to come to us and negotiate. In the Bluegrass Pipeline issue of 2 years ago, there was a big focus on eminent domain. And the courts have said in Kentucky, you don't have eminent domain for a private utility. So if they try to pull that on these landowners, they will not get away with that because there's precedent. So now what we have is, I don't know about all of the deeds because I haven't gotten contact from everyone, haven't researched it. But I did send 176 letters to every individual property owner along this route. We've got maybe 10 feedbacks, phone calls and letters and emails saying, you know, and I've advised them to look at their easement deeds and see what kind of position they're in. Several of them have gotten back and said, yeah, it says just natural gas specifically. So that creates another dimension of potential opposition to this project.
Good. Greg, you know, you and I organized a meeting. We've been to Danville several meetings and talked to the citizens over there about the opposition to this pipeline and the danger of it because it's a 70-year-old line and they're wanting to push natural gas liquids in the opposite direction through this line. And I've even had calls from Kinder Morgan executive branch and say, why am I opposing this? They heard I was one of the magistrates opposing this. And I said, because of safety issues, we just don't feel like in Madison County it's going to benefit the county in any way. And it's a hazardous issue that we don't want pushing through our county because of danger of explosion and natural gas and liquids, you know, leaking out and without being detected before something seriously happens. So we've opposed this from the very beginning, and I'm thank you for following up with this and anything we can do to try to stop this. I think it's a good move.
I appreciate that very much. And Boyle County's already sent their letter on. Their business development coalition down there is sending one. I mean, a lot of counties and more counties are jumping on board. Now, I'm not sure what they're doing in Tennessee, but it's running through there too, and we're going to start networking with them and see what happens. But you're absolutely right, everything you said. And if you look at that passage, from the hazardous materials, you'll see where they say it may not be advisable to perform flow reversals, product changes, or conversion in service to these types of pipelines. So they're warning them that it's not advisable to do that, and the reasons are just what you stated, is that you're pushing through. Anybody knows that the pressure it takes to move a gas is less than the pressure it takes to move a liquid. So when you start running a liquid through a pipeline that's been in the ground for 70 years, which, by the way, a month from yesterday, I turned 70. And if they were to reverse my pipelines, I'd be in big trouble. So the point is that even their own safety board is telling them it's not advisable to do this. So, and that applies to any pipeline, whether it was built last week, built 10 years ago, 20. We got one 70 years old. And it's just what you said. I'll stop.
Thanks.
Stay on.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate it. I think it would be appropriate, though. I know we don't have to have a motion, but just in favor of sending the letter, I think it would be good, us as a fiscal court, to approve it.
Well, I'd move that we give you the authority to go ahead and sign it and go on record opposing.
Second.
Yeah.
All right. If no more discussion, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bucket?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Absolutely.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
brother. Appreciate
I
it.
have another meeting to go.
Yep, understand.
Thank
Thank you very
Greg,
much.
for what you
Appreciate it. It's with great pleasure today that we have, I'm assuming the majority, I'll say, of our road department staff here. We appreciate your willingness to come out today. Madison County was fortunate to be involved in the Safety Circuit Rider program this year. It's a partnership through the Transportation Cabinet and the University of Kentucky that came down and actually gave us sort of a lesson, educated us on safety issues out on our county roads, whether it be blind spots, whether it be overgrown roadsides, whether it be signage, could have potentially been manholes, different things like that, and really trained us, I felt like, very well on things to be looking for out on our county roads. And so for that certification, or for that class, they gave certificates, and we would like to present those to our road department guys today. And so we appreciate y'all's service to the county and what y'all do each and every day. So if you will, I want y'all to stand up so you can be recognized. And as I call out your names, just sort of shuffle, I guess, your way around. Let's get my hand. Mr. Dwayne Bowden. Appreciate you, brother. Yep, thank you. Marvin Powell. Appreciate you, man. Charles. Mr. Charlie Hunter. I like it, Charles. Appreciate you, man. Yes. Mr. Matt Grant. Should I say Matthew? Matt's fine. Matt's fine. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Mr. Scott Short. Thanks, buddy. Mr. Tommy Jones.
TJ.
AKA Waco, right? Absolutely. Good to see you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. Mr. Kenneth Holt. How about you? Appreciate you. Billy Pence. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for your service. Andrew Woolen. Sign, man. Appreciate you, man. Isaiah Webb. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Josh Robbins. Cowboy.
Right. One and all.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Tommy Saylor. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, sir. Appreciate you. Shelby's not here today. Oh, there you are, Shelby. Appreciate you, man. Tim Mitchell. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Mr. Bart. Thank you, Bart. Appreciate you. Mr. Willie Willis. Thank you. Appreciate what you do, buddy. Mr. Scott Shepherd. Thank you, man. And not only did our road department guys, but several of our magistrates as well were involved, and it was very eye-opening for all of us, I feel like. So, Mr. Larry Combs.
Thank you, Judge.
Appreciate you. Mr. John Tudor.
Embarrass me.
I wasn't there, I'm sorry.
Appreciate you coming in.
Mr. Roger Barger.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Can I give you yours?
You said it up.
Hey, man, y'all go back to work.
One up on you now, son. There you go.
Next, we're gonna have Miss Jennifer Lanehart come up.
I won't take up too much time, because it looks like you've got about a 3-hour long agenda.
No, it'll be good.
Not that long.
Yeah, welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Just real quickly, just wanted to take some time to invite you all to a launch party. Everybody loves to come to a party, but for this particular party, this is a project that Hope Swings has worked on for the past 3 years with law enforcement and criminal justice systems in our county, which would include Sheriff Coyle's department and the county attorney, starting with Mark and ending with Judd and continuing on with Judd. But it's called the Madison County Blueprint for Safety. It's the first program in Kentucky that I'm aware of where every agency has kind of worked together to come up with one effective, cohesive domestic violence policy for our community. It involves communication between the agencies, which was something that we did but struggled with, quite honestly, and we all have kind of recognized that and put some things in place, so hopefully we can focus more on the well-being of the victim and relying less on the victim to prosecute domestic violence cases and more heavily on evidence. So we're excited. Like I said, we've worked on this for about 3 years now. We're finally finishing up. We got a grant from the Department of Justice's Office of Violence Against Women to do this with, and we are one in only 7 communities nationwide who have received this grant. So we're up there with the cities of New Orleans and Memphis and St. Paul, Minnesota, and a couple communities in Michigan. So we're super proud of this, and we would love to have all of you to join us on March 9th for that party.
Will it be at Hope Swings?
Nope, it's going to be at First Christian Church.
First Christian Church,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, in the front part where the big windows are facing Main Street. So 1 o'clock there'll be some refreshments, of course, because we do that at Hope Swings. That's
Yeah.
one thing we're consistent with, right? Is feeding people.
Yeah.
But we'd love for everybody to come. We want to introduce this to the state, to our community leaders, but to our public as well. So
Okay.
hopefully you guys will make it.
That's good.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Jen, for what you do.
And if you don't mind, I'll take a card and we'll make sure we also post it on our cable channel
I appreciate
and
it.
on our website, just to let the community know.
I
All right.
appreciate that.
Thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate you a lot and what you do.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yep.
We always appreciate your support.
Next on the agenda is Resolution 1802. This is to amend Resolution 1303, which was an economic development resolution back when Sherwin-Williams company did a expansion to the plant out here on the edge of the county. A resolution of Madison County, Kentucky, amending Resolution number 1303 to recognize the addition of the Sherwin-Williams Manufacturing Company as affiliated entity of the Sherwin-Williams Company with respect to an economic development project under the Kentucky Business Investment KBI program, KRS 154.32-010 and KRS 154.32-100. Whereas Madison County Fiscal Court adopted resolution number 1303 on July 9th, 2013 for the Sherwin-Williams Company, which has undergone a corporate restructuring and is requesting that the Sherwin-Williams Manufacturing Company be added to the Economic Development Project effective as January 1st, 2018. The Sherwin-Williams Company and the Sherwin-Williams Manufacturing Company will each continue operation in Madison County. So if y'all, from the past, through the state's economic development tax incentive program, back then they gave a 1% discount for 10-year period. This does not change the 10-year period, and it's only on the expansion. And this is just actually where they've done a name change, basically. So I need a motion and a second to approve Resolution 1802, amend Resolution 1303 for Sherwin-Williams Manufacturing Company.
So moved.
Second that.
No discussion, call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next, Resolution 1803, this is Scenic Bikeways. A resolution by Madison County Fiscal Court affirming support for a scenic bike route. Whereas bicycle tourism in a growing industry in Northern America contributing over $70 billion a year to the economies of communities that provide facilities for such tourists. And whereas the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials has designed a corridor crossing Kentucky to be developed as United States Bike Route 21, also known as USBR 21. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court, with the cooperation of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet and other stakeholders, have proposed a specific route to be designated as USBR 21, a map of which is herein incorporated into this resolution by reference. And whereas the proposed route for USBR 21 comes through Madison County and can therefore provide a benefit to our residents and businesses. And whereas we have investigated the proposed route and found it to be a suitable route, and desire that the route be designated so that it can be mapped and signed, thereby promoting bicycle tourism in our area. Now therefore let it be resolved by the Fiscal Court of Madison County, Kentucky, that it hereby expresses its approval and support for the development of USBR 21 and requests that the appropriate officials see it that the route is officially designated by the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials as soon as it can be achieved, and authorizes the posting of signs within the Madison County right-of-way identifying the route through the community once the official designation has been made. So I need a motion and a second to approve Resolution 1803.
So moved.
Second.
Just to have a little bit of discussion, guys, this actually in Madison County will basically start at the Rock Castle Madison line there at Boone Gap, and it will extend all the way to basically Boonesboro there at 627. And from there, then it goes on into Winchester and obviously goes on down 25 there into Rock Castle. It takes a path of starting in Mount Vernon, Slate Lick, Boone Street, Chestnut Street, Center Street, Harrison Road, John B. Stevenson Shared Use Trail, which Larry, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the new trail that Bria's been part of there, off of kind of 21 area there,
Yes.
short line.
Yes.
Blue Lick Road, Herndon Lane, White Station, Calise, Hampton Way, Barnes Mill, Lancaster Avenue, 2nd Street, Union City Road, Hackett Pike, Peacock, back to Red House, 388, and then on to 627. So if anybody was listening, I know I went through that quick. That's sort of the path that it'll take. And it's a mixture. It's a mixture of county roads. It's a mixture of state roads. It's a mixture of City of Berea streets and also City of Richmond streets.
It's not a very direct route, but it's a very scenic route.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Well, I think all governments are on board, right?
Yep. So we have a motion and a second. No more discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is a quitclaim deed This is on the scenic Boone Gap area, which is down on the Madison Rockcastle line, at the little, historic rest stop. Used to be actually the old, 25 road bed, and back, I don't know, 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe they put the new road in, and it left this historic rest stop. And this is a quitclaim deed where the transportation cabinet of the Commonwealth of Kentucky is deeding this to the Madison County Fiscal Court for $0. We then will have an agreement with Rockcastle in Madison County to maintain, do a little bit of mowing and upkeep on that. And so we'll bring that back to court once that Judge Bishop and I, Rockcastle County Judge, figure out what sort of our terms are. This also, if we ever decide that we no longer want to be a part of this historic scenic rest stop, this would actually revert back to the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. So I need a motion and a second to allow me to sign and accept this quitclaim deed.
So move.
Second.
No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Berger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you. You need some coffee?
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Next is second reading of ordinance 1801, budget amendment, Kindred Lane Bridge. Actually, this is really what you call the third reading, isn't it? The state had a hard time getting this back to us in the proper amount of time. And when it finally did come back, they had dated it a day after we had court last time. So we basically just need to reapprove the second reading of this ordinance to make sure that we follow all the right protocol. This is second reading of ordinance 1801. This is a budget amendment, again, on Kindred Lane Bridge.
So that being in my district, I would move that we go ahead and adopt it. Second.
Thank you. No discussion, call the roll.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Berger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, and that was, again, that was part of the 80-20 bridge program that we used money for. Next is the second reading of ordinance 1802. This is a budget amendment on the finance of the fire trucks that we were fortunate to get a big portion of that money through the CSET program. And that budget amendment is for the amount of $430,000.
Move we adopt this amendment, Judge.
Second.
No discussion, call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Berger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, thanks, guys. Next is Battlefield Golf. This is IT service agreement on Chrono Golf Incorporated. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning. I'm here this morning to get your approval on switching our software from Golf Now to Chrono Golf. I could go over a lot of the features of it, which there are plenty that will help the course, but the main reason for switching, under Golf Now, the agreement we have with them, we don't pay them anything per year for the software. What they do instead, they control part of our tee sheet where they can get up to 8 players per day, where the fees for those rounds go strictly to them. I did some checking in the last fiscal year. If we would have had control of that, we could have recouped, or we would have gotten anywhere between $16,000 and $18,000, but they have control of that. Under Chrono, we have complete control of the tee sheet. So we will be able to put out specials on the tee sheet online where we will receive all of the funds. It won't head to them. Now we would have to pay them $350 a month or $4,200 a year for the software. It's for the tee sheet and the point of sale. But we will more than recoup that since we'll have control of all of that. And as I said, all of the funds will come to us instead of heading to them.
So ultimately, you're pretty much comparing a cost of $16,000 to $18,000 a year
To
$4,200 a year.
Yes.
Have you talked with any other courses, Gary, that use the system?
Yes, right now there are about 500 courses that use the system. It's one of the highest rated software packages for the golf industry. They're actually out of Canada. They've got the majority of the courses up there, but they have some in England already, and they have about 100 in the States.
Have you seen the software?
Oh, yes.
You comfortable with it?
Yes, I've been working with the software probably for about eight weeks right now.
Okay. I saw in paragraph 6.4 on that there's a penalty clause in it that, and I'll tell you why I'm getting to that in just a second. There's a penalty clause in it that should, in the first 12 months, you decide that you don't like it, and it goes back to them that we have to pay setup fee and a maintenance cost for a full year of $700.
Right.
All right, so the question about that is the maintenance cost. So is there a maintenance associated with this?
We just pay the $350 per month. That covers everything.
Right. And if, and also in paragraph 7.3 of that, it states that there might be complementary hardware associated with that. Is there any hardware coming to you all?
No, we're purchasing any of the hardware.
So
Yeah.
you have everything that you need to run, or will you be able to book from cell phones?
Cell phones, iPads, yes, everything.
All right, and so you have then good lines out there for your connections. The only thing that really I see that can go wrong is if you lose your connection, right?
And we have had that happen plenty in the past, but Chris and Ryan have come out in the last few months and straightened out all of those problems. And it's bound to happen. It's the internet. And if there are any outages, we can always paper and pencil.
All right, so that was the next question.
Yes.
Do you go to a manual system? And at the end of that, is there any requirement to do any backdating of the input into the system?
We would, yes. Anytime we go to a manual system, and we've had to do that on the current software, we just go in and put everything back into the system.
All right, so that also will give you a accounting record
Oh,
associated
yes,
with that?
yes.
Right, okay.
One thing also, since we are able to book online, and we're going to a new system, one service they provide to us for free, they will email all of the customers we have that have an email address to explain to them how to sign on, how to book through their system. So it's something we don't have to do.
And I'm gonna assume that you have, on the last page of it, you've got a support 24/7. That comes with the gold package that you're
Yes,
using
it
tonight.
does.
So I'm gonna assume that's an 800 number or something that you have to call.
It's an 800 number, and we can also do it straight from the software package. We can actually do a chat online.
Okay. I like we've talked about it a little bit. I talked to Chris about it yesterday some. I like what the package represents. One thing that, as you know, being an old IT guy, that I would recommend that you be careful of is that what happens a lot of times when people buy canned software is they find something they want to tweak about it.
Right.
And a lot of software companies are really willing to do that because once they modify your software, they've got you forever and a day. Plus, you have to pay for that other than just a flat fee. So try to make sure that you're comfortable with what you've got.
Oh, yeah.
You certainly don't want to get into that.
No. And so far in the weeks I've been staring at it, they've come out with about 4 or 5 changes to their software, improvements to it, and they aren't charging anyone for it. They've been quite responsive so far.
And that's what I was going to recommend. If you do something, see something you want to change, I'd send them an email saying, hey, maybe in your next version or
Oh,
your
yes.
next update, you might consider adding this in, so we don't have to pay for it.
And I already have a list.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So at this time, if the court is in agreement with the new IT service agreement, I need approval that you all would allow me to sign this new agreement with Chronogolf Inc., changing the provider from Golf Now.
All right, so I'll make that motion to allow him to go into the contract with Chronograph Inc.
Second.
No discussion, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Burger?
Yes.
Commissioner Toots?
Yes.
Commissioner Buckin?
Yes.
Commissioner Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, and Gary, thank you for your due diligence in this. I mean, these are the kind of decisions that we want to be making as a county government.
Yep.
Very efficient and the better service. So.
You're welcome.
Next is Battlefield Golf fee schedule. Guys, I just wanted to really sort of clean this up from last court. We were, I don't think when we really approved these proposed rate increase, that we really had a good vision of what the new fees were going to be. And so I just really wanted to bring it back with a clean sheet so that we're doing our due diligence as a court. So I need a motion and a second to approve the proposed rate increases for starting March 1st of 2018 for Battlefield Golf Course.
Before we vote on that, Judge,
Uh-huh.
can I just say something? Do you have that with you, Gary?
Yes.
Can you, in the very last section of it, under the membership fees, there's a section there that tells what each of those might generate. Can you just tell everybody, the public, what those are?
Sure. Based on about 3,500 weekend rounds, that should bring in at least 10 to 11,000 more per year. And for the weekday rates, the non-senior, that should bring in at least 5,000.
That's good. And the reason why I wanted you to bring that up is because it's important, because generally speaking, you don't make money on the golf course. So anything that you can do at the golf course to help bring in additional funds, you should probably step all over that. So that's good work.
That's what we're trying to do.
And one of those is important too, is not just the additional revenue you bring in, but you're also saving $4,000 a year annually
For the handicap.
for handicaps.
Yes.
So it's a compromise of saving money, being more efficient, as well as trying to increase
Right.
our revenues a little bit.
Gary, it looks like you bumped the membership per year up basically $50 across the board, and if you're an avid golfer, you know, the price of playing at these other clubs and courses, we're still way under their cost, and $50 increase is not that much over a year.
No, it isn't, and in fact, I've heard a few other courses around here have upped
Are
their
upping
rates.
their rates too.
So, yeah.
I think it's very reasonable.
Well, you figured a per round fee for that once, right?
Yes.
And do you remember what that was off the top of your head?
There were some members that were trail fee members that had their own carts. It was under $5 per round they were paying. Yeah.
Cheap golf, I don't care where you at.
No.
And if you want, we can, if the court would like, we can read off what's changing, just so everybody knows, the people watching on TV. Monday through, the 9-hole rate for Monday through Thursday, 9 holes green fees is going from $10 to $12. Saturday, Sunday, 9-hole green fees, not staying the same, so it's 15 and 15, correct?
Yes.
Then we go down to 18 holes Monday through Thursday. 18 holes green fees is going from 10 to 12. Friday, 18 holes green fees is going from 15 to 16. Saturday, Sunday, 18 holes green fees is going from 15 to 18. And then the USGA Handicap Services non-member is going to 30, from 25 to 30. Membership fees, junior fee is going from $250 a year to $300. Single membership fee is going from $400 to $450. Single plus one is going from $550 to $600. A family is going from $650 to $700, and the trail fee is going from $300 to $400.
Yep.
So that'll be our new proposed rate increase. So if everybody's in agreement with that, I need a motion and a second.
Judge, I move we adopt these new fees for the golf course.
Say,
No more discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Bucking,
yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next we have, thank you, Gary. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. First reading of ordinance 1803. This is the administrative code. We have a few changes in the admin code. Good morning, Ms. Rachel.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. So yeah, we just have a few changes for section 4.5, the inclement weather and emergency declaration. We broke it up to where we had essential versus non-essential, and of course this could change varying on situations. So that's why we just left it very generic. And then we broke it down between hourly and salaried employees. So I don't know if you all have any questions regarding that, for breaking it down with essential versus non-essential.
Are you paying overtime to your salary folks?
So at this time, if you're salaried, it doesn't matter how many hours that you work. If you are essential to a situation, then you should be there. In the event that there was an extenuating circumstance, then we could always bring it to court and then see if we wanted any type of supplemental pay towards them. But at this time, no.
Be on an individual basis, though, wouldn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect, I saw that sick time's not affected if you've already got it scheduled.
So if
You
you
take it.
if you're considered an essential personnel during that situation, and you submit a sick day, then you still have to take that sick time
Right.
because you would have had to come in regardless. And you will also have to provide a doctor's note because, of course, in those type of situations, you would have to come in. In the event of a vacation day, we would actually take that out of the time clock system and they would get back those hours since they wouldn't have had to come anyways.
It's good, Rachel. And then we had some other changes in procurement, I believe.
Yes. That was gonna be section. I don't.
I think y'all were in a meeting and just happened to come up with it,
Yes.
7.2.
Yes, and actually that just adds on, it clarifies that it's the 20,000, it did say more than 20,000.
Right, yeah,
We changed it 20,000 or more
Right.
for, bidding out. And then also we put in there in order to match the, financial manual, that anything over $3,000 or over needs to have multiple quotes attached. So anything between $3,000 and $19,999 needs to have multiple quotes.
Which we were already doing
20,000
anyway.
Yes, we were doing it anyway, but we just wanted to add it to the administrative code, so it matches our financial manual.
yeah.
What in the instance if we only get one quote, Glenn, can we go with that one quote?
We can, but what we need, if it's over $3,000, they need to attempt to get multiple votes. We need to have something
We just
from,
document.
if they call a company and
Document
they
we
say, I'm
couldn't
sorry, we
achieve any
can't
of the
quote
quotes.
that,
Okay.
we need to document that.
Yeah, and this doesn't count, so like we just had an instance in the annex, the elevator going
Yeah.
down. Well, we already have an agreement with an elevator company that does our maintenance. So in that situation,
You're locked into a contract.
you're
then.
locked into a
Yeah.
contract, so,
And there's emergency situation, if we had an emergency and we had to get something back up and running, there's circumstances for that also. But this is in the everyday purchasing, if it's over $3,000, you need to have multiple quotes.
are you gonna talk, that, and that's in 7.4.
Mhm.
Are you gonna talk about 7.2?
7.2 is for the bid process, and that's
Right.
taking out those days. Yeah.
Right, and it's also adding back in that we shall advertise in the newspaper
Yes.
versus may. Before,
We were accidentally looking at the procurement.
right, we were looking at the wrong
Code instead,
thing when we
yeah.
didn't have to advertise in the paper, but we do actually do, and so we put that back in. Yep.
Yep.
Is there any questions? If not, I need a motion and a second to approve the first reading of ordinance 1803, administrative code.
Make a motion to accept the ordinance 1803.
Second.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for going in, Rachel. Appreciate it. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bakken?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is the budget amendment for Sheriff's Department. Obviously, the sheriff has requested, sent a letter requesting the purchase of a new 2018 Dodge Charger. He had a 2008 Dodge Charger that blew up. Had approximately 190,000 miles on it. I'm sorry. It was 2010. It was 8 years old. It's 2010 Dodge Charger Patrol Cruiser, and obviously that was not foreseen whenever he did his budget back in January. Well, we actually approved it in December. So he's requested a new car to replace that. The total cost of that would be $34,659.90. And so this would be a motion and a second to approve the budget amendment for his budget, increasing the fiscal court's contribution by $34,659.90. He did decide to go back with the Charger, just try to save a little money. The actual Charger itself is $23,997, and that's the state contract price. It is an all-wheel drive. And then with the emergency equipment, the radio, the striping package, the installation, and the data terminals is approximately $10,662.90, which brings that total to $34,659.90.
Is that a six-cylinder charger or a V8?
V8.
Judge, is there any of the equipment inside the old vehicle worth salvaging? What I'm trying to get at, can we put anything in?
Well, a lot of the like the data terminal and stuff like that, I think all that comes out of that cruiser and goes in the new one. Is that correct?
We have one, the one that's down, there's equipment already been taken out of it and put in some others that's gone down as well. So, you know, it's
Okay.
all been utilized.
Yeah, they utilize as much of the stuff they can take off that one and put on a new one. Yes, absolutely.
Just trying to save some money where we can.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you all.
I think that the sheriff knows that this court's supported him pretty much, as much as we can. And I think we need to, it's part of his equipment. When it comes to a police officer, or sheriff's department, or whatever, the car is the major part of their equipment. And it needs to be in good shape. And this could happen to any of their departments, engine go down or whatever. But not saying that in the future that money gets a little tighter, we may have to cut a car or something. We don't know that. But he needs it now, so I think we should approve it.
At the end of the day, we all got to come to the realization that you know, we're the financial arm for a lot of our other elected officials and departments, and there's permanent expenses in those departments, and we've got to come up with a plan to be able to finance these things for them. Their permanent expenses are going to hit us every year, and if he's got 30 cars in their 5-year lifespan, then we should be purchasing 5 new cars a year, you know, or we're going to have these same problems year after year. He's going to have equipment problems, and so, you know, with this court, you know, it's something that we definitely have been working on for 3 years, and we're continuing to try to make it better. So I appreciate your all support and your energy in this.
Well, we've done 4 a year for the past 2. Not counting this last year, and the fact that he got 8 years out of one of those Chargers is amazing anyway.
Yep.
Because 190,000 miles on one of the Chargers is not like 190,000 miles on an RV.
No,
Yeah.
that's good.
They go from one side of the county to the other side of the county, and most of the time in a really big hurry over roads that you haven't even drive.
Yeah. So since this court's been here, Sheriff, the first year you got,
The first year in 2011.
well, no, in 15, this court's first year. In 15, how many cars did we approve? 2?
Yes,
And then the next year we did 2 again, right?
4.
We did 4. So we did 2, 4, and 4. So, yeah. All right.
We're good now.
We are. Yeah, we are. So I need a motion and a second to approve the budget amendment for the sheriff's vehicle,
So moved.
or the sheriff's vehicle.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. No more discussion. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bucket?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is the fire department. We have a couple promotions. Chief?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Chief.
I'm here today to recommend 2 of my firefighters have completed their 400-hour certification and to move them from firefighter 1s to firefighter 2s. The first is Mr. James Andre, who's here today. He'll go
James.
from a firefighter 1 to a firefighter 2, making $7.50 an hour, and that'll start 2/21.
James, did we just hire you a couple of months ago?
Yes, sir, in July.
Glad to see that you're achieving your improvements and moving forward.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
for your service.
So I need a motion and a second to approve the promotion of James Andre from firefighter 1 to firefighter 2.
So moved.
Second.
No
Second. I'm sorry.
No more discussion. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bucket?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
And our next one is Eric Kern. He's received his 400 hours, so he'll be moving from a firefighter 1 to a firefighter 2, $7.50 an hour, and that'll also start at 2/21.
Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, sir.
So do I have a motion and a second to approve the promotion for Eric Kern, firefighter 1 to firefighter 2?
So moved.
Second.
No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, thanks, guys, appreciate you, appreciate your service. Thanks, Chief.
You're welcome.
Next is approval to purchase, in the road department, a bucket truck. Scott, good morning.
Good morning. We come to fiscal court, and ask the court to approve amount of $32,000 to purchase a bucket truck. We have exalted all avenues of trying to purchase a bucket truck for $32,000. We have attended auctions. They brought in upwards of $60,000 to $80,000 per unit. We've searched online, and we're not being able to find anything reliable in that price range. The closest thing we can find that would suit our needs, to suit the county's needs, is for $39,000 to $40,000. So I'm just basically asking the court's permission today to raise our limit from $32,000 to $39,500.
Scott, do you have a truck in mind at this price? Have you seen some listed for this?
We have got two picked out online. They're close to this price, but what we want to do is reopen the bid process, give these companies an opportunity to bid, give anybody an opportunity to bid, and see what we can get in that price range versus the $32,000 price range. The $32,000 stuff that we did inquire about or was approached about was in pretty poor condition. None of them passed our test for me to recommend to purchase them.
We've got an old truck now, we don't wanna purchase another old truck, we have to repairs on immediately, so.
Exactly. The truck we have, we've been toying with the idea of maybe having it fixed, but we're already up to around $28,000 to repair everything on it. That would cause us to let it get certified again, and you have to have your boom certified, you have to have all the hydraulics certified on it, and I think that would be throwing bad money away when we really should update anyway. This is somebody's life up in this 55-foot high bucket,
Absolutely.
and it's time we have to do something.
In which we have to go through the procurement process anyway, because it's over 20,000, so,
Yes.
By bidding it, giving other people opportunity, then allows us at that point to take the next step if nobody bids, or if we get an acceptable bid at that point, we can act on it.
But I just don't feel if we put the bid out again and have a $32,000 cap, we're gonna be coming back to you again, because I don't think there's anything out there that I have personally viewed and went and drove and looked at that is gonna pass our test for us to invest money in.
I've seen the old truck out on the job, and seriously, it's not safe for somebody to be up in many situations.
These trucks you're looking at now, are they in size, are they up more than the one that we was used to be in?
One of them that we've really got interest in, it's the same exact size boom. It's a little bigger truck, and it is a tandem axle.
Okay.
The tandem axle, from my research, gives the truck a little more stability.
Stability, that's right.
The higher up you are, the less stable you are.
Yeah.
And the truck that we're looking at has 4 outriggers instead of 2. Our current truck only has 2 outriggers.
Well, that's all safety, so
Is there,
that's what counts.
is there any value in our old truck we can get anything out of?
We do have value in it. What I'm seeing on the market, I still think our truck will probably bring somewhere around $12,000 or $15,000. And my suggestion to the judge in our long talks was that we, once we get one secured and purchased, that we immediately put ours on gov deals and see what kind of bid we get on it, and just let that money go towards this one.
So we're basically talking a difference of $25,000 to $28,000.
We are, and I have 25,000 budgeted
budget.
for a truck.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
hopefully we will not go over budget once we
Time we
get
trade trucks here.
recover the
Yeah.
truck back that we're selling.
Yep.
Judge, I'd like to make the motion to give Scott the ability to look for a truck for $39,500. Is that what you said, Scott?
Yes, sir.
Second.
Is there any more discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Scott, next, we have a road department hire, Mr. Ronnie Hughes, as a truck driver trainee, general laborer. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Hughes is currently employed with Avert Express in Lexington. He is a resident of Berea, Kentucky, lives on Gwynn Road. We're wanting to start him out for $10 per hour as a truck driver CDL trainee, casual labor. And he will need to put in his 2-week notice. That's the reason he's not with us today. He is at work. And he will start on February 28th, 2018.
And he actually already does have a CDL permit,
He has
correct?
his permit.
Mhm.
So moved. Second.
No discussion, call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Scott, appreciate it. Guys, this time, we need an executive session to discuss personnel matter. I need a motion and a second to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Yeah.
There it is.
Not much.
So call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. So at this time, do I have a motion and a second for what we discussed in executive session?
Judge, I move we reimburse Andy Riley $950 for medical expenses.
Second.
No discussion, call the roll.
Hang on just a second. So, have you got that motion? Okay. Sorry about that.
That's
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Judge, let me back up on that. I'm going to abstain.
Abstain?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
After I talk to the county attorney, I'm going to abstain.
all right. Thank you. Got that, Clerk Barger?
Got it changed.
All right, thank you. Next is Judge's report. Just a few announcements. Want to announce Madison County Courthouse and its related offices will be closed on Monday, February the 19th. That's for President's Day. We will reopen on Tuesday the 20th at 8 a.m. And again, courthouse will be closed February the 19th for President's Day. The Richmond Chamber of Commerce's business at noon will feature a legislative luncheon update on Monday, February the 19th from 12 noon to 1 p.m. That's at Eastern Kentucky University's Perkins Building. And you can also check out tickets available online or at the Richmond Chamber of Commerce. I want to announce the 44th District Basketball Tournament is coming up next week. First round games will be Monday, February 19th and Tuesday, February 20th, with the championship games being on Friday, February 23rd. I wish all of our local schools, our local high schools, good luck and represent us well whenever they move on to the region. Congratulations to Madison County EMS on recently earning the American Heart Association's Mission Lifeline Gold Plus Award. Madison County EMS was one of only 4 emergency services in Kentucky to achieve this certification. So kudos to Carlos and his staff for the job that they do and the service they provide to Madison County citizens. And then obviously the opioid epidemic is a huge burden on our community. There is a new website for those seeking help for substance abuse. The site is findhelpnowky.org. So it would be great if everybody would sort of get that in their head so that they could get that message out to our community. I'm going to say it again. It's findhelpnowky.org. The site has a directory of types and locations of treatment centers and services provided for those seeking help. So next is comments from department heads. Anybody? All right. Comments from magistrates. Rod?
Can I just say something real quick? That website was an initiative started by the governor, if I remember right. Do you have that data on that? Okay.
No, this is a directive, I think, from the ASAP board. I know they've been working on it. And it could have been something that came from the governor's office. I'm not sure, but we can look into it and find it out.
I've seen the governor advertising.
I'm pretty sure that came out of the governor's office.
Okay.
That was free.
Thank you. Raj?
I've got a number of things, and I'll probably miss 2 or 3 of them, but all of us attended the Judge Executive's conference in Lexington. Had a good conference. Just received a lot of bad news, is what I got out of it, as far as no money here, no money there, whatever they was talking about, that there wasn't enough money, which we probably already knew that, but I think it was just kind of a warning to what's to come. You know, it's not gonna get any better, you know, and they're still cutting things. Just some of the info that we got out of it, though, we had a lot of different discussions, especially on the opioid and the jail part of it. It surprised me, some of these numbers. In the nation, Kentucky is 10th in incarceration. And when it comes to women, we're second. So for a size state, that's a lot of incarceration as far as numbers goes. And it's all because there's just not an answer to what to do with these people that's not hard criminals. You know. And for that fact, in 2016, there was 37,000 low criminal inmates in the state. I mean, it's ridiculous. Another stat that we've heard about from the sheriff, state police needs 1,100 officers, and they've only got 800 and some, but that's okay because that's all they can afford. So, and that's what he told us. You know, he said if we had more, we wouldn't be able to pay them. So, but we're short that many. That's why the sheriff's department's having to do a lot of the state police job and cover for it. I mean, every time we went to a meeting, it seemed like it was bad news, or I mean, that's what I got out of it. But I mean, we've heard this before, or a warning of it, but it just seems like it's getting a little worse. Trying to see here if I got lost anything else. The other one is there's 4 states, and I can't tell you the states, but there's 4 states that drug possession is not a crime. And that's simply because they probably don't have room for them if they catch them, to put them anywhere. So they decide it's not a crime, just drug possession. That's all the bad news there. Now the good news is our judge and Colleen put on a presentation about the Healing Center and got some real good positive comments. Y'all did a great job. And a lot of people, when we was eating lunch or in the halls, they'd come up and tell the judge that or tell me that, because all 4 of us magistrates was in there when he gave the presentation, and it done a great job. And a lot of them was impressed with what we'd like to do, whether we can or not. A lot of them told us up front, you know, it's a good idea, you know, it's another avenue, another answer that we hadn't thought of. So I think it'll work out for a lot of the others to get interested in. Other than that, I guess if you use the ferry, you realize by now we've been closed 6 days because of water and probably got at least 2 or 3 to go. It's just now probably reaching its peak.
High water.
High water. I mean, we run at 17 feet or lower, and we've been at 20-something feet now, 21 or 2. It'll probably peak out at 24, and that's a pretty big flood. It's getting a lot of water down there. So, other than that, just go ahead and be.
Good to hear, Raj. Thanks. John?
Judge, I just want to follow up a little bit on what Roger said about the Healing Center. We talked to the Attorney General had a session there. He informed us some information about the drug opioid epidemic. And he said in 2015, McKesson Pharmacy shuffled more than 5,000 opioid pills into Floyd County, Kentucky in 1 year. 5,000 per individual. Per person. So, you know these drug companies are pushing these pills excessively. They know they are, and we've got lawsuits against them to try to stop them and recommend, make them straighten this conflict up. I mean, this is unreal, people. 5,000 pills per every individual in that county. And that's not the only county. West Virginia's dealing with the same thing. So this drug epidemic is it's just all over the country. It's something we got to deal with locally. We got to deal with it on the state level, on the federal level, and just incarcerating these individuals is not working. We've got anywhere from 350 to 400 a day over here in our detention center, and we let them out and they go back to the same environment, and it happens all over again. We have about 75 to 80% recidivism here in Madison County. That means they're repeat offenders. And so while we're going to try to have this healing center, and the first offenses, we're going to try to work them through this healing center and do some, I guess, detox, some phases with some educational programs and some job placements. That's the only way we're gonna make a difference in these people's lives. We can't just put them in jail for 60, 90 days and turn them out right back in the same environment. We have to make a change, and they have to want to make that change. That's where it comes from. So we got a lot of decisions to make, and we've got a lot of uphill battle here, but we all got to do it together. One thing on a lighter note is there potholes. We're having all kinds of rain, and Willie and his crew are doing a tremendous job trying to patch some of our potholes in the county. I talked to him this morning. I said, Willie, I need this road here patched. I need this road here patched. He said, we're going out there right after the meeting today. I mean, how much more better supervisor and be on the job and know what you need to be done before you even recommend it to him. I commend Willie for his accomplishments and his efforts.
The hot box is good, ain't it?
It's good.
Huh? Yep.
And don't forget Valentine's Day tomorrow. I will add that in there. If you need to reach me at 661-0044. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Tom?
So I want to start out, Judge, by thanking Glenda and Melanie. The format that you sent us for the different funds this time, individual, is way better than combining all those together. I mean, it's just so much easier to go through and pick what you need to see. So thank you for that. That's a kudos for you. You're great on that. Kind of going along with what you said, and you know, I believe we ought to throw out a bone where it's due. And I just want to, in this case, I was doing some research on the number of folks that was in the jail. I was specifically looking at the cost of the meals, what we were paying for meals. And so, you know, we're running anywhere from $35,000 to $40,000 a month feeding over there. And that's from, you know, anywhere from that was an average of about 385 people. That broke down to $1.14 is what we're paying for those meals over there. So, I mean, Doug renegotiated that contract a couple years ago, and that's fantastic because, I mean, we were shuffling out a lot of money on that. So that's a great job on that. It's a little bit ahead, but I want to put it out anyway, Judge. On on February the 24th, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. over at the Cottle Middle School, they're going to have a swap meet. And it's an opportunity for folks with spring coming to buy, sell, trade fishing items. Got old Poe you won't get rid of, maybe you can go and swap you a reel or two. Mama's always on you to clean your garage out, so it might be a good opportunity to move a few things. The proceeds from that are going to benefit the Madison Central High School Bass Anglers team, and that's a really good program those guys have over there. The admission's going to be $3 for adults and $1 for 16 and under. And you can also call Brent Wilson and get some more information on it if you would like at 859-358-7626. That's Brent Wilson, 358-7626. All right. This is just an update. Every now and then, and especially, it doesn't make any difference whether it's state road or county road. This is a procedure. You hit a deer, somebody hits a deer, falls on your property, it's on the state right of way, it's in the middle of the road. First thing you need to do is call state police. That number to call the state police, and this is for post 7, is 859-623-2404. What happens at that point is the state police will then contact the game warden that's assigned to Madison County, and they will dispatch them to your location. When you call the state police, you need to have a couple of things for them. It's first the location of where it's at. If you know the sex of the deer, if it's a buck or a doe, you can tell them that, and also tell them what you want to do with it. You want it just removed. You know, a lot of times when the game warden shows up, they have charitable organizations that they donate the meat to, depending on how long what the roadkill time is on that. But anyway, the very first step for that is to notify the state police, and they'll direct the disposition of it. I had the opportunity to text Congressman Barr on Sunday, and it was in the form of congratulating him. On Friday, he and Senator McConnell passed the Tax Cuts and Job Acts, which repealed the 1.4% tax on the endowment income for colleges and universities with fewer than 500 tuition-paying students. Of course, Berea College is exempt from that now. If you remember a month or so ago, there was some great debate on whether they were going to have to pay 1.4% tax on their endowment over there, which is a whole bunch of money. Their endowment's pretty substantial. But they don't have to do that. They have 1,600 students at Berea College now that get free education over there. They don't pay any tuition, and that, with that, passing that act, which by the way was a bipartisan act, that agreement, that allowed them to not have to pay that tax. So folks over Bridge just ought to be tickled to death about that one. The state's patching potholes on US 25. They were yesterday. They may still be. I saw some around the White Station area that still need to get a few. So just be careful if the state is out there working on those pothole patching roads. And let's see, one day last week, Judge, I had the opportunity to go over to the Madison County Health Department, and it was a partnership that they had with a organization called Stop Heroin Lex. And what this organization was, it was a lady whose son had OD'd. And she was able to get to give you a little bit quicker story on that, basically he was at a party, they were taking some type of drug, and he OD'd on it, and everyone there at the party just thought he was asleep, and he was actually ODing. So her son passed away. She decided to just not do nothing and just be a victim from now on. She decided to start an organization to help folks to identify someone who's ODing. And she got this drug company to, the company that manufactures Narcan, to give her a grant and supply her with Narcan so that she could go to different locations. And she was at the health board last week. And they train on what the symptoms are, with how to recognize somebody that's ODing, and they gave two samples of Narcan there. So, you know, if it's your child, if it's whoever, regardless, it doesn't matter. A life is a life. You know, the opportunity to be able to get that, and you know, the cost of that, and it literally came in a box that's no bigger than your cell phone. 2 doses of that, and it had a trainer in it. The cost of that was $3,700. I like to pass that one. They just told what that was. But anyway, it was a very expensive. You know, her son's life did not go in vain. They're using that to help others, and they passed a Narcan kit out to everybody that went to that. So you know, if you have an interest in that, you may get with the health department, or they're once again their partner for that was Stop Heroin Lex. Also, and this is the final one for me, Judge, we have, of course, you know, legislators in session right now. There's, as of last night, 357 House bills. There's 142 Senate bills. I go through every single one of those. I read them. I make a list, the ones I like, the ones I don't like. I take that up there. We have Legislation Day Thursday. And we give a letter up there to all of our representatives up there and to Senator Carpenter, and we ask them to support or not support. So, and it's like everything, you know, when you look at them, you think, oh, you scratch your head and say, do we really need a legislation on that? And some of them are pretty simple. House Bill 140 is a pretty good one. It's to increase the training allowances for law enforcement officers, our firefighters, to $4,000. That's a pretty good bill. I'm supporting that one. House Bill 166 is the medical cannabis bill that's wanting to bring medical marijuana to Kentucky. You like it, you don't like it, I can just tell you now, I'm not a supporter of that. So if you are a supporter, you need to call our legislators. If you're not a supporter, you still need to call our legislators. I represent the 4th District, 16,000 people, but the rest of Madison County, you need to let your legislators know whether or not that you're for or against that. That's House Bill 166. If you need me for anything, you can reach me at 200-9765. Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Tom. Larry?
Well, let's see, Judge, I got a couple things on my mind. First one is, the dog problem we got on Dogwood Drive. It's still there. I've had 2 calls last week on it, and of course Scott's not here, but do you think we'll ever get anything done on that?
I think so.
Okay, well, I know these people they've been very patient.
I know our county attorney is working on it.
Yeah, we need to put a little more bite into that ordinance so we can deal with it. I mean, we can't deal with it the way it is. And, you know, it's sad to say that neighbors have to fall out over dogs, but I can understand both sides. And I can understand the people that's objecting to it because, you know, it seems like that little holler, when it goes up through there, it just runs right straight into their
It's
house.
like a megaphone.
Yeah, I was talking to her on the phone there yesterday, and I said, if you don't care, go inside. I couldn't hardly hear her from the dogs.
Yeah.
And she said for 2 or 3 days it was working good, and now they're right back at it. But I don't have an answer for it. I mean, I'm a dog lover myself. Mine's right out there in the truck. But they do need some help. And I wish we could get something done on that sooner the better.
Yep.
The other thing is on Kentucky 1016, of course, the sheriff's office went down there and they did charge some people with some drugs, but they are gone now. But they didn't take the stuff with them. There's 3 vehicles still sitting there, trash everywhere. We've got 2 locations. One is where a trailer burned, and all that trash is blowing towards the road. Can we legally send the landowner a notice and tell them to clean it up, or we're gonna clean it up and put it on the tax bill?
Yeah, I mean, I need to research the situation, but through our property maintenance ordinance, we do have the rights to go through a process with our codes and planning directors to go out, they take pictures, it eventually actually goes to the county attorney's office where there's a letter sent out, and we can give them a certain amount of time to mediate the situation.
There's a truckload, a load of tires at one place.
Yeah.
And trash, you couldn't get it in a dump truck.
So if they don't clean it up, then we have the rights to actually do it
Well,
ourselves
they
and put a
haven't been there.
lien,
They
put a
haven't been
lien
there.
on the property or what have you.
They haven't been there in 2 weeks. I know they moved. I hope they went to another
But do
county.
they own the property? The people that,
No,
yeah, so,
I gave Scott the name of the people that
Yeah.
own, and
Well,
she
they-
owns both of them.
our staff knows those procedures very well. I mean, we're using some in some other areas right now, so they if you've talked to them, then they should start that procedure.
I think they've already been notified by certified mail.
Yeah. So that's basically the start of the process, so.
Well, the people that were there didn't care. Now they moved, and I think they went to another county. I hope they did, but it's still an eyesore. I mean, I get calls on it every week.
Now, the process is a little slow, so just
I know.
encourage the citizens down in that area to be patient.
Well, I tell them
So,
to be.
yeah.
You know how people, they don't have a
Yeah.
whole lot of.
It still rains, don't
Yeah, it still rains. The other thing is, of course, John stole it. I was gonna tell all the men here, don't forget now, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. John beat me to it, which I figured he would.
Mm.
But other than that, Judge, I'm just glad to be here.
You know what? You go first next time.
Okay.
This is your year.
I'm ready.
It's a new year. Why didn't you say something? I forgot all about it.
Well, you
Yeah.
done had everything.
Hey, I've tried to be fair and let everybody go first every year, and it's your year. This is your year.
Thank you,
So
sir.
next court, everybody help me remember. Larry goes first this year.
All
Yeah.
this for me.
They've already been.
Two
Yeah.
months in the hole.
I started with Tom and John, you, and now it's Larry's turn.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Hey, got it, man. I'm sorry, Larry.
That's okay, Judge.
Yeah. I'll owe you a couple extra next year.
That's right.
How's that?
Just put it on my check.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Comments from the audience. Anybody?
Well, I see we have a
Yeah.
distinguished visitor here.
Yeah, I do wanna,
Bruce Fraley, I'd like to recognize
Yeah,
him.
it is good. Elected official, Berea City Council. So appreciate your service to Berea. Bruce, glad to be here. And then also Shane's here with Department of Local Government. He's our rep in Madison County and several counties, but he represents Madison County, so we appreciate you being here today as well. I need a motion and a second to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second, no discussion, call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next court date is Tuesday, February 27th, 2018, here in Richmond. Again, next court meeting is Tuesday, February 27th, 2018, here in Richmond. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Willie?
Right.